Não é bem lenda urbana do Pará, é lenda vinda direto da floresta amazônica. A mais conhecida do Pará, acho que a gente estuda isso até na escola, vai a lenda do boto, que saiu, né, na noite de lua cheia e engravidou, assim, foi sem querer. Aí tem a da Iara, que fica penteando os cabelos ali na lua, né, a imagem, todo mundo diz que vê uma imagem de mulher na lua, na verdade é a Iara. E por aí vai, Curupira, Matinta Pereira, que protege a floresta. Essas são as minhas lendas. Agora Nova York é outra história.
Everyone in the neighborhood always threw their sneakers over telephone wires, and there's so many urban legends about why people did it. Your friend died there, so you threw up a sneaker. In certain neighborhoods, that's where drugs were being sold. But it doesn't really make any sense, because why would you sell drugs where everyone now knows that that's where you sell drugs? So all of these are just kind of myths. All right. And that was the whole intrigue about us doing these sneakers, is so people could wonder why we're doing it, you know, and kind of build our own urban legend. They've hung off of trees, lampposts, statues. I mean, ideally it's a telephone wire because of the way they would hang, the way they would be nothing around them. A wire hanging in the middle of an intersection and something that you can't touch. Graffiti could be painted over, street art could be ripped down, stickers could be peeled off, but you can't touch our sneakers.
So I could do it myself, but there's a special technique, you need a special feeling for that.
There is a special technique, and we've made a poster specifically how to do it too. It's very unlike real sneakers just because of the weight and how they're thrown, but it took many years of figuring out how to exactly precise it. We've thrown over 5,000 pairs already. So now it's become more not to get so many up as opposed to getting the right place and the right shot.
And what would be the right place? I'm trying to get like your feeling when you throw, like you and your brother throw.
We were just in Ireland, but here's the Ireland poster, one of them here. Now you said, where's the best shot for a pair of sneakers? If you see a telephone wire in front of a castle, I mean, how rare do you see that?
There's a message with the sneakers you do.
Usually it's about marking like where we're from. Like the South Africa edition, I think, was after 9/11, so they were American flags, which everyone hated. I think in Holland we did like a XXX edition. In the UK we did Above Ground, which we're using the underground logo, which was the train logo. So just something that sort of relates. We actually got approached by a couple other sneaker companies to do collaborations with them, and we're like, we're your competition. We make our own sneakers, you make your own sneakers. Street art in the beginning was all about combating advertising. New York was filled with advertising. All the stickers on the poles were for bands or some sort of product, and postings or like yard sale signs. And it was all about marketing something. So when people came out with street art, especially like Shepard Fairey, who put Obey posters up to kind of question the advertising, you know, it was always to counteract the advertising. So when now you use what you were against to use it to promote yourself, to me just really feels wrong. Because I feel like it's gotten really commercial, where now whatever you put on the street, that's what people want to buy. The more people wanted it, the more I didn't want you to have it.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of more rare. So someone who owns a pair of sneakers didn't actually pay for them. They found them in the street. And so those people who really own it just would feel more priceless to them. Because what are you going to pay for a pair of wooden sneakers? You know? What are they worth? $10? $50? To me, they're worth $5,000 a shoe. So even, I don't know, so it's kind of like never wanted to really put a monetary value on them, which actually just makes them more priceless.
You're gonna make us crazy about the shoes. Okay, you get it now. How important is New York in your art?
It would only happen in New York. I mean, this is where it started. This is where we're from, born and raised. It's just kind of being from here and watching all the transient people that kind of come through. And it's funny, when you go somewhere else, like when I was in Ireland, they're like, oh, you're from New York. Cool, you got a cool accent. Like, say coffee, say this, say that. And you know, it's funny because my friends from the UK here, and they got these nice posh accents with all the girls like, oh, it's so cool. Like, you know, so when you're a New Yorker somewhere else, you kind of feel that being different is what makes everyone like, oh, cool.
Yay!
I'm not a hipster. I find what I can, and I recycle a lot of clothing, and I take clothing and I take a lot of it, and I know how to sew and knit, so I can customize my own things, but mostly I just buy cheap clothing because I don't have a lot of money. And also, I go through my mom's closet, so that works too. I like all kinds of music. I like a lot of old 80s hip-hop, new indie stuff. I like a lot of folk punk stuff. There's a lot of really good bands out there.
My name is Eri. I'm from Japan. I haven't been there for a long time, so I kind of don't know what's going on there now. But their fashion goes like move on really quick. Bohemian style, I don't know.
Tem coisa mais nova-iorquina que café, né? No Brasil é o café da padaria, aquele de coador.
What is my style? I don't think I could really label it as any one thing. It changes a lot. I definitely like the hip-hop culture, so I tend to lean towards that. But I think I've picked up a lot of tips living in New York because you see all different kinds of things. And I'd say that my style is a collaboration of what you see. So it's kind of a hipster chic. A lot of like leggings and tights, you know, change it up. I bartend as well, so it has to be comfortable throughout the night. Sometimes you see shirts that say things that are great. They're great statements. I tend to not like negative energy, so anything that can make you smile and brighten your day, I think it's okay to put on a t-shirt.
I kind of hate them. I think they're really tacky. I would never wear one personally, and they're silly. They usually say really stupid things on them.
I live in New York for 7 years almost, so I make t-shirts and I sell them on the street. A lot of these designs are about New York City, like that bike shirt. Like when you ride bike in the city, you have to lock it all the time to the pole and take the front wheel off, otherwise it's going to be stolen. Or the broken guitar, I like to play music, so I like to be on stage and break guitars. That's a piece of that. You know, some bridges that I pass through like every day. New York stuff.
What you wear is basically your message to the world, so without saying anything, you can still express yourself.
Calça jeans, camiseta, tendo isso, tá bom. Quando eu não quero pensar muito em me vestir, eu acabo jogando a camiseta para facilitar. Eu acho que você jogar uma camisetinha bem aquelas velhinhas surradas, assim, dá um estilo bacana.
I just like to wear t-shirts, tomboyish. I like music, so I always have a band t-shirt on. I like metal bands, hardcore bands. Lately, I've been listening to weird French pop music. Jacqueline Talib. Been listening to hardcore records, just Negative Approach, Government Issue. It depends on my mood and what I'm doing and where I'm going. Getting ready for stuff, I listen to different music. I'm not a girly girl, so I'm not into dresses and things of that nature. So I'm always in pants or in-band t-shirts or leather jackets.
Bye.
Patricio Luis Matamoros, but only my grandfather called me Patricio. It's Patrick to everyone else. And I sell really expensive vintage t-shirts. People know me for this. I was in junior high and I was going through my cousin's t-shirts and she had this Beatles t-shirt. It said Beatles help. And I wore it to school and the girl that I liked it. And it kind of started to come out. It's always because of a girl, right?
Quero achar uma bem rasgadinha.
The more holes in it, the more I sell it for. Well, I like to think about the history. Not that this is a Harley Davidson t-shirt. I don't care. Harley Davidson, Rolling Stones, I don't care. If it was blank, I would still love this. This person rode their motorcycle across the country 5 or 6 times wearing this t-shirt. Like, that's the story that I make.
Yeah, I like to believe that, and then you feel that you're actually wearing a story on you.
History,
you're carrying someone's history.
Not that it's Black Sabbath, so it's collectible. I don't care. I want history. I want someone's life story. It's all about the stories.
But why t-shirts though? Do you think like people really like it, or it's just easier? Or?
Well, I think t-shirts are the new Chanel handbag. So a piece like this, and
is it the most expensive piece you have, like in this rack?
Yeah, this would be one of the most expensive. This would be $650.
Ó, gente, para muitos um furinho na camiseta, o endereço é o lixo, né? Para ele é totalmente diferente. Aqui é o mapa da mina.
This is not for everybody. It's people who care, because you don't spend $600 on a t-shirt and not care about it.
It should be hanging here.
That's 400. 400? Yeah. Dare you to find another one.
400 for this?
400.
How you figure I could probably make this?
And why do you think people are so into vintage those days?
One word, it's authentic. I like the idea of art that you can wear. The difference between a museum and a gallery. A gallery you can go in and buy the art. A museum you cannot go in and buy the art. So this idea of just something special, raising the level of what I do. I'm not just a guy who buys old stuff and calls it vintage. I hardly ever use the word vintage. That's why I like the word curator, because it fits me better. I charge for it, but if somebody wants to come and buy my own t-shirt, yeah, I'll let them. This is better than any of my Rolling Stones t-shirts or any of my concert t-shirts. When I bought it, it was not this thick. It was not in the back, all this, the holes here. It was in good shape. So 6 years of wearing it about 2-3 times a week. I wear this at least 2-3 times a week. This is who I am.
A manchinha é melhor ainda. Até o amarelinho. Pensa na arte que você tá vestindo.
Most of my brother's friends were from Harlem and Brooklyn. Then as I got older, I started coming down here, started skating a lot. Today it's 60 degrees out. Should be winter, but it's not. It's nice. So I'm out skating. Everybody's out. All the fixed gear riders are out today. Still life, still life, still life. Keep the Ramones going. My mom went to high school with them in Queens. So she had me listening to the Ramones when I was little. I grew up with them, the whole punk scene, so.
Colorful, flowing, a combination of, finds from thrift stores and stuff, a little bit more commercial, mainstream. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of here. I play the drums, so kind of getting involved with the indie rock scene a little bit more.
Fashion's important.
Yeah.
I try every day to be more fashionable, but I just can't get it yet. I'm trying,
You look good.
Yeah. Okay.
That was great.
Is that what you needed?
Yeah, is that good?
Should we do that again?
Direto de Greenpoint, Ride on Dynamite, um trio de garotos que é conhecido como os Strokes, só que doidos de cogumelo.
This band has been together, what? Almost 3 years?
Almost 3 years, yeah.
Almost 3 years is riding down the back.
Sorry.
Brooklyn, New York.
We never really could get the fourth member thing down, so we just...
Yeah, we tried.
The three of us matched really well.
We got it down, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, we just chat to each other and play music. I like talking about that. When I play music, it's like just talking to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Conversing. Yeah.
This is music to my ears. Right?
This is,
what we got going on.
Yeah, this is great.
He considers our music as a conversation that we have.
These conversations count for laughs.
Right on Dynamite. We didn't come up with it.
I heard it was an amalgam of 2 different names.
My brother came up with it, and he had like lists, just like every day, like, how about this? And it was like, and finally he said it, and we're like, I like it. And John's like, I like it. And then it was down.
I was like, I don't like it. But then I couldn't think of anything better. Here we are, Ride on Dynamite. Everybody seems to dig it, so. People come up with like a description, like a really kind of vague, like jangly garage rock, whatever that means. Or like it's, somebody says we sound like, a band, but it's always a different band. Which is, I think, a good thing, because I don't think anybody can really pinpoint exactly who we sound like. We never really go in writing a song thinking like, oh, it's got to sound like this, or did you hear this song, we should do something like that. It's always just comes out of like either jams or just ideas that one of us came into the practice space.
A lot of times it's like our daily routine, though, that's like the biggest influence, like just working all day long, and we finally get into the room. It's like whatever happened during that day comes right out in our instrument, and we start playing.
It's starting to happen here.
And this neighborhood's like filled with amazing, awesome people and artists and musicians, and all those things. And it's like that's kind of like influencing me too. Like just like seeing like these bands I admire so much are just like coming to the bar here and just ordering drinks like every other normal person, I work in this bar and I work at a cafe down the road.
I spend a lot of hours delivering pizzas.
I make websites. It's so much uncooler.
He delivers great pies to me. I call him.
It's a big.
He works at Nina's, a place called Nina's. I call him, request John. John comes in.
I figure if my friends are calling, I might as well get the tip.
For now, we just have day jobs, which are fine and nice, paying our bills and letting us play music and
let us go on tour,
buy instruments, which is beautiful, and go on tour.
It's just tough to find a good job where it's also really flexible.
Especially today, what's going on out there.
The economy.
I mean, Recession.
Geez.
Recession.
That's right.
Don't get me started.
No, me neither.
It depends on my mood, but I like house a lot, so I listen to a lot of Head Candy, and then Cascade is my favorite DJ, but then sometimes I listen to classical because I'm also a PhD student.
Acabou o livro, acabou o papo com o amigo. A boa dica é o nosso brinquedinho eletrônico aqui, que dá pra assistir ótimos filmes e qualquer vídeo que você queira dar uma olhadinha e passa um tempo bacana.
Can you imagine living like this? How much do you think you'd need?
20 million?
I was thinking 40.
So what do you have to do to get $40 million? Two people who are brilliant at what they do, corporate spies, who fall in love, are crazy about each other, but kind of don't trust each other because they're so good at what they do. They don't trust each other.
I mean, it takes place we're in the neighborhood here, and it's very visual, and it had to be here. And they really only exist in a few cities in the world where they're really with the corporate headquarters. We really wanted to have one company on one side of the street and their building, and another company on where the leaders could stare out the window, stare across the border, and hate each other.
The twists and turns, and you just never know what's around the corner with this one, I think, and that was one of the things that intrigued me the most.
Who is this guy? We're not sure.
You're unbelievable.
It was an assignment. It was nothing.
Well, you should see the pictures.
Oh, jeez. Is that the one where they're on the desk?
If I told you I loved you, would it make any difference?
If you told me, if I believed you.
E o melhor é que você ainda pode dividir com alguém. Não sou egoísta, não. Tem mais um plug e dá pra escutar juntinho.